Oma and the Mermaid of the Seven Seas, a fantasy tale filled with mystery, danger, and self-discovery. In a quiet village nestled around the river and seas, lived a young girl named Oma. She was 16, gentle as the morning breeze and kind-hearted like the village stream. But sadly, her goodness was both her light and her curse. Oma had siblings, 3 brothers and 2 sisters, who loathed her with passion. Why? Because her parents loved her openly, and perhaps a little more dearly than the rest. Not because she was the youngest, but because she was pure in spirit. She helped her mother in the kitchen, her father in the fields, and still found time to sing to the birds and help elders cross the road. Her siblings mistook this favor for favoritism. Their hearts were darkened by envy. One stormy afternoon, the siblings hatched a cruel plan. "Oma," said her oldest brother with a wicked grin, "fetch us water from Iyajo, the river beyond the 7 seas." Oma's eyes widened. "Iyajo? But no one dares go there. The elders say it is cursed." Her sisters mocked her. "Scared little baby, always hiding behind mother's wrapper. If you want to prove you're not the favorite, then go." Wanting to prove her courage and perhaps hoping to earn their love, Oma agreed. She set off at 5 p.m., clutching a wooden calabash. To reach the river, she had to cross 7 seas, each darker and more terrifying than the last. Legends told of mermaids who guarded these waters, spirits of the deep, who lured the brave and buried the greedy. But Oma was neither greedy nor arrogant. She was simply innocent. The first sea, the Sea of Whispers. As she approached, the wind began to sing. The water murmured secrets from ages past. "Turn back, child of earth," it said. The sea listens but never forgets. But Oma, holding her calabash close, crossed it quietly, whispering a prayer. The second sea, the Sea of Mist. Here the air was thick and cloudy. She couldn't see her own hands. Shapes moved in the fog, lost souls perhaps. A chill gripped her, but she pressed on, her steps guided by faith. The third sea, the Sea of Echoes. Every sound repeated back to her tenfold. "Go back," her own voice screamed at her. "Go back before it's too late." But her heart beat stronger than her fear. She moved forward. The fourth sea, the Sea of Shadows. Shadows rose from the waters, twisted and human-shaped. They followed her, mocked her, whispered her siblings' hateful words into her ears. "She thinks she's better than us." But she didn't run. She walked with tears in her eyes but fire in her soul. The fifth sea, the Sea of Silence. Here no sound lived. No splash, no wind, not even the beating of her own heart. Time froze. She screamed but heard nothing. It was maddening, but still she crossed. The sixth sea, the Sea of Lost Names. This was a sea where travelers forgot who they were. "Who are you?" the water asked. "I am Oma," she replied. "Who is Oma?" She paused and said, "I am the daughter of truth. I am the sister of hate, but I choose love." The sea parted. The seventh sea, the Sea of Mirrors. The final sea. The water was like glass. Each step showed her a different version of herself. Oma with claws, Oma with wings, Oma crying, Oma laughing, Oma dead. She looked at each reflection and said gently, "I choose to be me." And with that, the seas allowed her through. At the heart of the river lay Iyajo, dark and swirling like a wound in the world. And there, rising from its depths, was a mermaid unlike any tale told before. Her hair was seaweed and gold. Her eyes were pearls laced with fire. Her tail shimmered with scales that held the faces of those who had never returned. "Why have you come, child of men?" she asked, voice like thunder underwater. Oma fell to her knees. "I came to fetch water. I was sent here because they hate me." The mermaid's gaze softened. "So you come to a cursed place, risking death, to earn the love of those who offer none?" Oma wept. "I want them to love me." The mermaid swam closer and the river grew still. "Listen, child. I am Mermaid, the mermaid of the 7 seas. I am not evil, but I guard this place from hearts filled with pride, cruelty, and greed. You, Oma, your soul is light. But hear me, stop chasing those who choose not to love you. Let your light lead others, not dim for them." With a swirl of her tail, Mermaid lifted the calabash and filled it not with water, but with silver droplets that shimmered like stars. "Take this. Your parents will know you speak the truth, and when your name is doubted, let your story rise like the tide." Back in the village, Oma did not return that night. Her parents searched frantically, knocking on doors, shouting into the wind. Her siblings lied. Her boyfriend came, She followed him, said one. She said she'd never come back, said another. But at dawn, as the first rooster crowed, Oma walked in, soaked but glowing, holding the magical calabash. When her parents saw the silver water, they knew. No mortal water shined like stars. The village gathered, elders summoned, and when Oma told her story, even the birds paused to listen. Her siblings were ashamed. One cried, another bowed. They begged for forgiveness. And Oma, she forgave them, because her heart was never meant to hate. From that day on, the tale of Oma and the Mermaid of the Seven Seas was told from one village to another, and the river once feared became a place of wisdom, for only those with a pure heart could cross the seven seas and return. And as for Oma, she grew to be a queen, not by crown but by character. For the sea had chosen her, and legends say that on quiet nights, the Mermaid of the Seven Seas still sings her name. Oma, Oma, Oma. A girl who walked through seven seas and came back not just alive but awakened. After Oma's return from the cursed river of the seven seas, the entire kingdom trembled with awe. Elders bowed when she passed. Children sang songs in her honor. Even the leaves on the trees seemed to whisper her name. Oma, 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 but not everyone rejoiced. In the heart of the village, where the smoke from burning herbs curled into the sky, lived Dibia Anocheli, the native doctor, the one said to hear the voices of the gods, to walk in the dream world, to speak with the dead. People feared him, revered him, and never questioned his word. For years he alone had been the mouthpiece of the river. Families came to him with offerings, hoping to hear prophecies or receive healing. But now all eyes turned to Oma. Even the gods, it seemed, had chosen someone else, and that enraged him. He sat in his shrine that evening, red chalk painted across his forehead, cowries at his feet, and bones scattered in a dish of blood. His eyes were wild with jealousy. Why her? He spat. Why not the daughter of the god's own voice? I who hear the ancestors in my dreams. I who feed the gods when no one dares. He called for his only daughter, Chizaram. She entered the shrine in silence, dressed in white, her long braids glistening with oil. She was just 17, beautiful, proud, and unaware of her father's scheme. Father, she bowed. My daughter, he said softly. It is time you too walk through the seven seas. The river must know your name. Her heart sank. But father, she whispered, they say only the chosen can cross it. Even the elders said, enough, he thundered. The gods do not choose without me. I am the voice, and you are my blood. The river will honor you. He handed her a golden calabash carved with ancient runes filled with palm oil and feathers. Take this, he said. The mermaid will know who sent you. Against her will, driven by fear and obedience, Chizaram began her journey just before sunset. The journey across the seven seas. Chizaram's path mirrored Oma's, seven seas each filled with trials. But where Oma moved with innocence and humility, Chizaram walked with pride, her steps echoing arrogance. She passed the first sea, the second sea, the third sea, the fourth sea, the fifth sea, and the sixth sea. These seas tried to warn her. Go back, this path is not for pride. She laughed. Do you not know who I am? I am the daughter of the god's messenger. The sea fell silent and let her pass. Who are you? The sea demanded. I am Chizaram, daughter of Anocheli, priest of the gods. That is your father's name, it replied. But who are you? She hesitated, and for the first time she had no answer. Still the sea parted. Seventh sea, the sea of mirrors. Each reflection showed her not as a goddess but as a puppet, a shadow of her father's pride, a girl trying to wear a crown that didn't fit her soul. She looked away. I deserve this because my father said so. The mirrors rippled and shattered. She arrived at Iaho, trembling but triumphant. The river hissed and roared. Then the water parted, and from its depths rose the mermaid of the seven seas, Momo Miri. But this time, her eyes burned red. You have come, the mermaid growled. Not with a pure heart, but with another man's hunger. Chizaram dropped the golden calabash. My father, he sent me to prove we are worthy. The river honors truth, Momiri said. But your journey was born from envy. Your father mocks the river, and you walk his lies. I didn't want to come, Chizaram cried, but he made me. He said we deserve the river's love more than Oma. The river began to rise. Thunder cracked. The winds howled. Then returned to him, return with what envy earns. The river wrapped around Chizaram's legs like chains. She screamed, but it was too late. In the village, Dibia Anocheli waited at his shrine, burning incense, chanting songs, expecting the river to send blessings. But instead, as the moon reached its peak, The wind howled, and the river sent him a gift, a golden calabash floating into his compound. Filled not with water, but with black ash and a single braid of his daughter's hair, he fell to his knees, trembling. The gods had spoken. From that day, the people feared the river even more. They spoke of the fate of Chizaram, the girl who walked the seven seas with pride and returned, never. And Oma? She wept for Chizaram. Even after all the hatred and schemes, her heart remained soft. She offered prayers to the river, asking peace for the lost soul. The mermaid of the seven seas was never cruel. She gave to the humble and took from the proud. And as for Dibia Anachili, he never spoke again. Some say his voice was stolen by the sea. Others say the gods turned away from him forever. But he would spend the rest of his days sitting in silence, staring at the braid of his daughter's hair, haunted by the voice of a mermaid who could not be bribed. For more interesting stories, like, share, comment, and subscribe.